Warm-hearted viewers, this is Start ANEW on his coming broadcasting network. The term Start ANEW is an acronym which stands for sunlight, temperance, air, rest, trust in God, alternative medicine, nutrition, exercise, and water. Today, we are honored to feature Dr. Samuel Dizon on our program.
With us is Dr. Samuel Dizon, who was with us for the weekend. I got to listen to a couple of his lectures, and I was deeply inspired. And Dr. Dizon, where did you take your medical education?
Well, I took medical study at Manila Central University in Caloocan City. Prior to that, I finished my BS Biology at the same school, and I finished my postgrad internship at Manila Senate Army Hospital. Now it's the Adventist Medical Center in Pasay.
Okay, talking about your medical training, I know when we talk about doctors, we always talk about big money, because they had a study, for example, in the U.S., and they were trying to get the top schools like Princeton, Harvard, Yale, and they're always 1, 2, or 3, and also Stanford University. And this students coming from this place, I think it's 1,500 students they're trying to interview. When the question of job satisfaction and the question of whether they think they are of service to humanity, the top schools are those that offer majors in medicine, in theology, in education, community service, and the like. But when we talk about lawyers who are probably making the most money, as Princeton or Harvard and Yale does, they are in the top rank. But when it comes to this question, they are almost at the bottom. And Loma Linda, a small university over in Southern California, is in the top bracket. It's 91%. And the money, though, the good thing about there's a good and bad thing that happens to these people. The good thing, is that you are happy with what you're doing, but the bad thing is you're not paid as well. Mm-hmm. And those that are happy and are paid well are usually the surgeons. And other than that, they're just satisfied with their job. They're happy, but they don't make a lot of money. And I was wondering what drove you as a medical doctor to do something that you are doing right now.
Well, when you said about that discrepancy between making money and being fulfilled, in the Philippines, when you go into medicine, you don't expect to get wealthy. Oh. Because if they were expecting that, then doctors would not need to go to the U.S. to become nurses. I remember I was working as a physician in a certain city, and we were not regulars, but we have a good salary supposed to be from the United Nations, and the local government was not giving our salary. 5 months to 6 months, they would just only give about 10% of our salary. It reached a point that we were really, a lot of our colleagues were wanting to go do demonstration. Medical and health is not a priority of the government. Now, in terms of private practice, if you are practicing as a physician, maybe if you have something different from what others are doing, maybe then you can get it. Even as an alternative practitioner, you're not really going to make money because a conventional doctor is going to have about 10 patients and you only had one, and you're just charging the same. So it's not about the money. I got into medicine because my dad was a former minister and my mom was a midwife, and we didn't have a lot of money. I finished my medical studies through the veteran scholarship. And I saw my dad used to tell me that the firstborn is actually dedicated to the Lord. You have,
Wow.
It's mostly a love of service that you should have.
Wow.
And my mom says you should be like a tree that bears fruit or at least shade. And if you don't have any impact in the world, you might as well get chopped up and be a firewood. Now, as a medical doctor, I wanted to really go into missions, to go to maybe Africa or something. My dad raised us up in stories about Dr. Livingstone and all these other Christian pioneers. And I thought I was going to be a missionary. But I got into medicine, and after finishing medicine, I finally realized if you're a medical doctor and you want to be a missionary, you cannot do it if your patient doesn't have money. Because doctors are trained to prescribe drugs for disease, and that's it. We are taught not about health, but how to treat disease. So if the person doesn't have money, you better be willing to shell out your money. I had severe asthma before when I was a child. When I got older, it disappeared when I went to martial arts. However, when I was working as a physician, as a company physician for a while, I was being exposed to certain chemicals. We were working in Adidas rubber world, and there were some rubbers that they were melting, and I would be exposed to that, and my asthma returned. I got so tired of taking medications, so my martial art teacher was using herbs for training, and I decided to take some of the herbs. It helped me, and I realized I needed something. I needed to learn some things, and I started being introduced to other modalities. If you are willing to learn from non-doctors, they will teach you. So I learned about Chinese herbal medicine. I learned about pressure points. Of course, in martial arts, we do learn about that.
Yes.
I learned about hydrotherapy, American herbs, homeopathy, and from 1992 to maybe 1995, I was doing it my way. I read a book, Ministry of Healing, by a very good inspirational writer, and she said there, 9/10 of disease could be cured through natural means. I decided to try them. I started getting results.
Is it not Hippocrates who said that your food is your medicine?
Yes, yeah. Hippocrates says,
yes.
But that is not the concept in medicine. In medicine, we were taught, at least in our time, I graduated from med school in 1988. We were taught you have diabetes because it is your family history. You've got heart disease because you've got family history. You get hypertension, you get all diseases because of family history. What can you do if it's written in your destiny? So now, of course, the trend is no, it's lifestyle. But then it says it's family history. If you start reading up on books and on nutrition and other things, you realize no, it's you may, as a family, you may have the same diseases, not because it is your inherited tendency, but it's because it's your lifestyle. You have the same lifestyle as a family,
exactly.
So you end up with the same disease.
Yes.
I started practicing it. I would have patients with heart disease, with cardiomegaly. And in medicine they say once a heart problem, forever heart problem. And they started getting better. 2 months, 3 months, the blockage will disappear just from changing the diet, just from changing the lifestyle. And then learning about herbal modalities and so on. And after 1996, I was lucky enough or fortunate enough to receive a special scholarship to go to Eden Valley Institute in Colorado. This is a lifestyle training, a lifestyle disease management center. I stayed there for a year. That's where I learned patients doing insulin, getting off it in 3 to 5 days time.
No kidding.
Patients with
fast.
cancer, with tumor, shrinking. And you can see that. Of course, it involves prayer and cleansing diet and hydrotherapy and other modalities. Then after 1 year in Colorado, and we were supposed to set up a wellness center in the Philippines, I was introduced to a doctor who had training in Tijuana, Mexico, in 3 major centers there for cancer. So that's Dr. Jaime Arcilla. And he had trainings in different centers, and we started working with the Garrison program and other contrast program. And after 6 months, I decided to go back home. When we came back home, we were doing that in California, Moreno Valley, at the Health Education Lifestyle Center there, under his...
yeah, I think I've been there.
Yes.
Yes.
When we came back here to the Philippines, we were called by a hospital in Subic, in the former U.S. Naval Hospital, in SBMA, Subic Bay Freeport Zone. The Singaporeans and Malaysian rented the big 50-bed, actually it's a 200-bed capacity hospital from the government. And the Malaysian Singaporeans were believers of natural healing. So they said to the medical staff, we want a natural healing consultant. They said, we don't have that, and look for them. So they called us. When we came, I was with another doctor who got well from cancer, stage 4, by natural means. So the two of us, she was in charge of the administrative side, and I was the clinician. And we were called, and the owner, the Singaporean owner, said, okay, we're going to give you a place. You start here. If you get more patients, we give you 2 buildings. And we started getting patients.
So what year was this when you started
That
this?
was 1998.
Oh.
So all the doctors didn't like us, you know. But the owner said they should be here, so we were there. We were not getting salaries from the hospital. We were surviving on our own. We have one motto: God will provide. And whatever we make, we share. So we were 2 doctors, 1 nurse, 1 therapist. Within a year, we have about 45 volunteers, 3 nutritionists, nurses, therapists, and then they gave us the buildings.
Were the volunteers paid or?
Well, whatever we make, we share.
Oh.
But we were getting so many patients, you know, that they started bringing us patients that had been told by medicine that they only have 1, 2, 3 days to live.
Yes.
Now, remember, natural healing is slow, you know.
Of course.
It's super, super slow. But if you've been told you only have 2 or 3 days to live and you come to us, you are looking for a miracle.
Exactly.
And God works in mysterious ways. So we started getting results. Liver cancer, liver cirrhosis, patients on dialysis. It got so that we started getting into the media, you know. Balitan K would come, ANC channel, Women's Journal, Women's Today. It started, and it was fascinating when you see how God can work with simple things. So
Wow.
that was from 1998 to 2003, and then an American group came, took over the hospital, and we were still retained. We were praying, are the Americans going to be still open to what we're doing? Well, the head of the Subic Bay Freeport Zone, Chairman Felicito Pueyo, said, if you are going to take over this hospital, the natural healing stays. So we stayed. 2000. By then, we have opened up the minds of the doctors in the hospital.
Yes.
It took us 5 years to open up their mind. Then by 2007, they closed shop because of some problems. Then lately, about 2 or 3 years ago, they opened up, and we were again called to start in that area.
So there was a little break there.
That little break made us set up our own place. So we have a hospital set up with a department where we run the department with an arrangement with a medical center, and then we have a small line-in for those who really cannot afford that place. And we do the same thing, except it's in a simpler setup in Olongapo City.
So what happened after just 2 or 3 years, you said?
When the hospital closed down, we went to a small line-in in town.
Yes.
And set up our center there.
And then the hospital opened again?
Yes, the hospital opened again, and they called us up again, and then we put another group there.
Oh, now you have 2.
Yes, now we have 2. And we have a branch, a clinic in Manila, in Quezon City. Then we have a clinic in Clark, where a German friend of ours that owns a hotel there, a Clarkton Hotel, which is a German-owned place, really nice. Its designation is 3-star, but the service is 5-star. And he had a friend who had prostate cancer 8 years ago. We treated him. He got well, and he was so happy that he wanted us to set something up there. And the nice thing is we don't pay rent. He spent so much to have it set up, And he said, no, you don't need to give me any percentage. I just want you there. So the Lord opened doors. Same thing that happened during the hospital days. They gave us a place and gave us freedom to do whatever, you know.
Now, have you trained other medical practitioners to do the same
Well, I
thing?
used to have some residents training under me, but they went their own ways, and it's frustrating. I'm actually willing to share what we have. See, my training in the States was provided by the Lord, all expense paid, and I feel I have to pass that on because we're not getting any younger. Now, we are sharing it, but it seems that when you share things free, they take it for granted. So now
you got to charge.
Yes, yeah. We helped develop a wellness center in Palawan for Mayor Edward Hagedorn because he was our patient. He was for knee transplant, and we saved his knee 8, 9, 10 years ago, and then after several years it returned. It came back, and he was supposed to be for surgery again, but we helped him. We put him in a wellness center in Tagaytay called Nurture Spa. That's the #2 wellness center in the country. And we were able to help him. He was so happy. He wanted us to set up a wellness center in Puerto Princesa.
Okay.
So we formed a group, and we helped him set it up. He sent us 1 doctor and 3 nurses, and we trained them in Subic. Then they came back, they set the center up. But then we have some problems with my business partner, and so we had to part ways. Unfortunately, they closed up shop after maybe a year or so. And then recently we set up another wellness center for Chairman Felicito Payumo. He had his own place in Bataan. It's a mountain-type health resort, and we're still working with it for him. Recently, San Benito Farm, the #1 wellness center, asked us about linking up with them and helping them with their
Where is San
program.
Benito Farm?
It's in Lipa, Batangas. So they want us to help set up some programs for them. That's the #1 wellness center in the country and one of the top 5 in Asia. So there is financial things that can be gathered from it. But the nice thing about natural healing, I found out, is that it's very fulfilling. Patients who've been told they don't have any chance anymore, God will surprise, you know. And you can use both high-tech things to low-tech things. You can use expensive things or very simple things to get results. It's very Filipino-friendly. If you're wealthy, you can use it. Maybe I give you some high-tech equipment or things. If you are not wealthy, I can still give you things. You can go to the market and find things there. So I feel that as a medical doctor, I am doing more work because I have more weapons to use in my armament.
Yes.
I'm not limited to what conventional medicine has. The strength of conventional medicine is the emergencies. You know, that's why surgeons feel fulfilled because they know they're doing something. You know, they're getting results. The weakness is the long-term disease, the chronic illness. I forgot what year, but Stanford University's medical graduate, the dean of calcium medicine, told the graduating class, he said, I'll paraphrase, he said, we have trained you to become very good acute care physicians. You can do emergency, but we have not taught you how to cure chronic illness for the simple reason that we don't know how to cure chronic illness. What are chronic illness? Illness that are long-term. Heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, autoimmune disease. These are diseases that last so long, you know.
Yes.
But the simple thing is these are mostly lifestyle linked. And the reason why conventional medicine doesn't know how to treat this disease or cure this disease, they're only treating, not curing, is because they have not been taught what a lifestyle should be. What is health? You ask a conventional medical doctor, how do you become healthy? There's no answer.
There's no answer.
As a Christian, we are taught to go out there and preach the gospel, heal the sick. Okay? But Christ was talking to people who were not doctors.
You know, I was wondering, you're talking about Christ quite a bit. Can you imagine if he was alive today?
He'd be a quack.
The
He'd
thing
be an
is,
alternative practitioner.
the thing is, suppose he charged. How much would you pay for seeing again, or to open your eyes? How much would you pay for that?
They'd probably pay quite a lot. The nice thing about natural healing is if you if you have the budget, we can prescribe things that are really on the high end. If you are an ordinary person and don't have the budget, we can just tell you to go to maybe the Chinese herbal store. They do have them. Go to the market, they have some herbs there, local herbs. Now, again, if you don't have the budget, we'll just teach you diet therapy, cleansing diet, fasting, and so on. If still you don't have diet, I'll put you on the water fast. No money, okay, go fast. Your sugar will go down, your cholesterol will go down, tumors will shrink. And you didn't spend a cent.
Tell you, if this Christ was alive today, he would probably be hammered by the medical doctors, because here's a guy who would even resurrect the dead man for nothing.
Yes.
Still funny.
Natural healing is here to stay, and according to the financial analysts in the U.S. before, this is the nutraceutical revolution. This is a wellness revolution. There have been two industrial revolutions: the automobile revolution, the Ford, the Toyota, all this group, and then the second was the IT revolution. It's a technological revolution. The Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and those people. But they say in the entry of the year 2000, this is the third industrial revolution, and it's going to be bigger than the first two.
Wow!
So imagine now the trend of medical tourism. We cannot really do medical tourism in the Philippines that well. Why? Because the hospitals in India and Thailand have cheaper rates. Their drugs and medications are even cheaper than what we have.
Yes.
So we cannot compete with that market. Yeah, we have plastic surgeons. Yeah, we can do these elective surgeries, but they have them too. You go to China, a complete cancer test will be many, many times cheaper than what is being even in our less expensive hospitals. But we can compete in terms of alternative medical tourism.
Okay, now, alternative medical, we're talking about this therapy. What kind of modalities are you talking about?
Well, we use nutrition. We can do cleansing diet. We can do infusions, IV infusions. We're doing mega vitamin therapy. We're doing Hallelujah Diet program. We're doing the Gerson program, Gerson Plus program. We very much believe in the scripture being our guiding force.
This is a lot of diseases that we are talking about. For example, how about we'll just focus on one? How about cancer? What do you do for cancer patients?
Cancer is a multifactorial disease. A lot of times cancer is because of nutritional deficiency, of toxic overload in the system. So there's no one magic pill to cure cancer. Medicine would apply chemotherapy and radiation to kill the growth, the tumor. But most of the time, the tumor rebounds, or you only destroy about 80% of the tumor, and about 10 to 20% are already resistant to chemotherapy. There is no medical cure yet for cancer. The American Cancer Society are spending billions trying to research. So that means surgery and chemotherapy is only a temporary measure, and an experimental one at that.
Yeah, they have three modalities.
Surgery, chemo, radiation.
Yes.
Now, if you go to China, they're doing cryotherapy, which is also being done in the States. They're doing radiofrequency ablation. But see, this modality is being done in Western countries. They're doing it for only certain types of disease. But the Chinese says, okay, if it can kill this kind of cancer, then we can use it for any type of cancer. And their success rate in China is 75%. Okay. You go to the U.S., and the success rate for cancer is 15% overall. Okay, so for stage 4 cancer, using chemotherapy,
it's 5%.
It's 5% to 6%.
Yeah, I think it's about 5%.
So that's how small it is. That's not a success rate. That's a failure rate of very high, more than 90%. In Tijuana, for cancer called melanoma, they have a success rate of 80%.
No kidding. The fastest.
This is in CHIPSA, which is a Seventh-day Adventist hospital, by the way, that uses alternative modality in the Gerson program plus. And those who don't know who Gerson is, you may study the internet. You may search the internet. But the thing is, when you attack cancer, you have to give something that will destroy the cancer cells without destroying good cells.
How about the proton beam?
Proton beam accelerator, when they do that, they will destroy the tumor. But removing the tumor is not the answer. You do surgery, you remove the tumor.
Okay.
There will be patients with cancer in the leg, they cut it off at the groin area. Within a few months, it went to the other leg. So when you have cancer, your system is in terrible shape. It took years for you to end up at that level. It's like having a house about to fall down. It took years for the termite to destroy your house. No magic beam is going to... You can remove the termite, that house is still going to fall down.
Oh, yes.
So how would you attack it? Medicine would put acid on it to kill the termite. Yes, they will be killed, but you'll be dissolving the house at the same time. Or they burn with radiation. You set it on fire. So alternative medicine would be like this. The house is about to fall down. It's heavy. You remove whatever is pulling it down. Remove the appliances, the furniture, so that the house will be lighter. We call that cleansing, detoxification. You remove whatever toxic buildup has been there for years. It took years to build it up. You have to clean it up the fastest that you can. Detoxification. So we have coffee enema, colema, steam bath, sauna, things like that. Herbal therapy to detox, activate carbon treatments, laser chelation, rectal chelation, so many things that can be done to make the blood alkaline, to make the immune system function better, And then, as the house is about to fall down, with my analogy, you put braces on. Strengthen, because that house is going to fall down. You cannot just remove the wood where the termite is. Put braces on. You give it nutrition, vitamins, minerals, mega doses of them, It's not a normal thing you do, but you give the nutrition that he lacked for years and years and years. You have to dump it there. Strengthen the house. Then hopefully you kill the termite with whatever anti-tumor modality you may have. That's why we do send patients to China. They're doing freezing. That gives us time to fight. They freeze the tumor, it's dead. Now my job is to boost your immune system and so forth. We used to go to Fuda Cancer Hospital. The other one is now Guangzhou Modern Cancer Hospital. The nice thing is they're now willing to train us. So we can just freeze the cancer here and pray that it materializes. What else? How do you boost your immune system? Proper rest, raw food, make your blood alkaline, regenerate cells, certain herbs to fight and destroy cancer, a mind that is stress-free, and number one, an abiding faith in God. It's God who heals. You're just a farmer that plants. And then you water it, and it's God who will give the results.
That sounds like Jesus talking to his disciples in John 15. My Father is the husbandman.
Yes.
And you are and he trims the vine.
Yes.
He trims everything. He cuts, trims, prunes.
Alternative medicine believes in holistic health. So it's not just going to be the physical aspect that a doctor should heal. The word doctor comes from the word teacher. You're supposed to be a teacher of health. But if you don't know what health is all about, then you're going to be just a glorified drug pusher, prescribing medications. You don't even know what caused the disease. You're not even aware of the things that can be done. I was listening to a lecture in television by 3 leading nephrologists, and we're talking about dialysis and kidney transplant. How much does a kidney transplant cost? 1.5 million.
Over here in the Philippines.
Over here in the Philippines. It has to be someone from your own family. And when they do get the 1.5 million, you have to pay 120 to 180,000 so you don't reject it monthly. My goodness. So they were asked, what can prevent kidney problems? They didn't know what to say. How can you make the kidney healthy? They didn't know what to say. It was, I won't say it's funny, I just will say it's ironic that these are nephrologists doesn't even know how to keep the kidney healthy.
No kidding.
And that is what is in conventional medicine. But in alternative medicine, okay, we treat you physically, we try to find what's wrong emotionally, mentally, and we explain to you what the whole thing is all about. Patients come in, doctor spends 3 to 5 minutes. Sometimes they don't even look at the patient, just look at the test and prescribe. That's it. How can you treat that person adequately without even spending time with the patient? Holistically, spiritually, there's a book I read that says sometimes the doctor's face will be the last face that patient will see here on earth. That doctor has a responsibility, spiritual responsibility for the patient. So, the reason why Loma Linda has that sense of fulfillment is because the training they got is holistic, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Yes, they're still using drugs, but they are a little bit higher in terms of quality than the doctors who's just looking at it for the money.
Suppose that here in the Philippines, you want to avail yourself of these herbs. Are there pills that they can buy, or can they prepare it?
We have healthy options at SM usually, but not here in this area. There are, as I said, nutraceutical revolution is on. There are herbal companies that produce them. There are stores that you get it from. The ordinary market will probably have them. They have the high end, the low end, and the middle end, the middle income group. Just make sure that when you go to a practitioner, you are sure that they really had at least a good track record and it's not in it just for the money, because then there are unscrupulous practitioners out there. But the thing is, they're all in the books. You can search the internet. They're just there. You can study and look at them. And one of the reasons why we have this series that we're setting up is that then you can have the knowledge on how to make your own pills, your own concoctions, so to speak. Because herbs take so long to work. So there are ways to make the herb more potent. When you take it now, they work now.
I think Linus Bowling, the vitamin C doctor?
He does mega doses, yes.
My goodness. 10 grams.
They're smiling at him, but when we treat cancer patients, we give about 9 to 12 grams per day.
Wow.
Not only that, there is a technique, a 21-day IV infusion, that you go as high as 25 to 50,000 milligrams per day.
That's IV?
For 21 days. So, they do that.
Okay, this was a long discussion.
Yes.
But we need to hear a lot more from you. Friends, we will be back in a few minutes, or in the next session. This is HCBN again, inviting you to listen again to these discussions we have on health. Start anew with Dr. Samuel Dizon.
View the whole Start a New program starting with the opening interview with Dr. Samuel Dizon, parts 1 and 2, and the closing interview. There are lectures on what is natural healing on Christianity, parts 1 and 2. God's marvelous self-healing body. Cancer, it can be prevented, parts 1 and 2. Alternative program for kidney disease. Diabetes. Whys and hows of detox. Learn about modalities used for healing, such as body massage, hot stone massage, ventosa, charcoal pack, charcoal wrap, enema, and facial clay treatment. A video demo on how to prepare concoctions is also available. Watch the question and answer section recorded before a live audience. And enjoy the bonus sections on medical missionary work, also recorded before a live audience. Thank you, and may God keep you in good health.